I'm sure if you keep digging, you'll find me.
You ready for your mind to be blown?
Do it.
Each week we break down another Breaking Bad episode, in order, and this week it's Season 4, Episode 8, Hermanos, the episode that earned Giancarlo his first Emmy nomination. You don't want to miss the outtake for this episode. I've got 21 details you might not know.
Are we done?
We start with a repeat of a scene from last season's Episode 8. It is shortened, more zoomed in for some reason, and uses different takes.
I'm sure they'll be fine. I'm sure they'll be fine.
One of the suspected gunmen died at the scene. The second succumbed to his wounds earlier this evening at an area hospital.
This time, the story continues with Gus telling Hector about the fate of his nephews.
Marco shot in the face and died instantly. Leonel lingered for several hours. Juan Bolsa may have some insight. But yesterday, the federales raided his hacienda, and in the confusion, Juan was shot dead. At any rate, I thought you should hear from me.
They brought Hector back into the story now after a 13-episode absence, so having Gus visit him in the season finale wouldn't feel out of place.
This is what comes of blood for blood, Hector.
Walt gets another PET CT scan.
Walk into a doctor's office, suddenly, I mean, life as I know it will never...
Excuse me. I'm waiting to hear a progress report, so call me.
Anyway, so for me, that's been the biggest wake-up call.
To hell with your cancer. It's a death sentence. That's what they keep telling me. Guess what? Every life comes with a death sentence.
That's not a bad outlook.
One of these times, I'm gonna hear some bad news. But until then, who's in charge? Me.
It's weird that the camera is panning on its own, but let's say that a henchman is moving the camera from a different laptop. This is executive producer Mark Johnson's son, although his real name is Jack.
Pollos, Hermanos, for something delicious is always cooking. Yes, detective.
Thanks for coming in.
My pleasure. How's Kathy?
Much better, thank you.
How was your meal? Agent Schrader and I got a chance to catch up at one of my restaurants a few days ago.
I eat there every day, but I wouldn't fit through the door.
Gus can't stop his neat freak tendencies.
Sir, your fingerprints were found at a crime scene.
Really? That's surprising.
A drug-related homicide.
Gail Bedeker's apartment. 15 years ago, I established a chemistry scholarship at UNM.
That's a real vintage photo of the Albuquerque motorcycle police.
I named it after Maximino Arciniega.
And the show named this character after the actor for Crazy 8.
Hey.
Gail was a recipient of this scholarship.
So after years of no contact, he shows up, remakes your acquaintance, and invites you to dinner?
Yeah, he wanted money. He spoke in terms of a vague investment opportunity. Personal shortcomings notwithstanding, he was a warm, gentle person, and I thought a lot of him.
Can you tell us where you were on the night of Wednesday the 23rd? Not an accusation, just a question.
Oh, I understand. Let's see. I was at a fundraiser at Presbyterian Hospital.
Anyone else?
Hank likes saving his best stuff for last.
I got one more thing.
Sorry, yeah, just, is Gustavo Fring your real name?
They filmed takes of Gus getting more flustered, but decided to not have him show any weaknesses.
Is it my real name?
I know you're a Chilean national, but there are no records of you ever living there.
General Pinochet's government was notoriously unreliable at keeping records. I'm sure if you keep digging, you'll find me.
Aha! Winrar's comment inspired me to keep digging, and I found him right at the end. This, and what I'll show you at the end of this video, furthers my suspicion that there are hundreds of these.
Oh, no, please don't do that.
Gus is absolutely trying to emasculate Hank here. Maybe the bell is meant to make us think of Hector, but it is a different pitch.
So, are we buying?
The scholarship thing explains it.
I believed him.
I thought his story was credible.
I agree. I think it was a good story. Still, why are we hearing it now? This man's a big law enforcement booster. Sees that someone he just had dinner with, someone he thought a lot of, was murdered. He reads this and he doesn't make a phone call.
We can't predicate a criminal investigation on a person not making phone calls.
Very nice. What's the damage?
$1,200 a month.
Speaking of which, that's for the week. Plus, there's a little extra in there for any move-related incidentals.
How's he doing?
Jesse? He's good. He's busy.
How is it?
Space, lots of light.
And Brock?
If you really want to know how they're doing, why don't you go see for yourself?
I'll catch you later.
In a deleted scene, they show that Jesse's walking to Andrea's house. The scene ends there. There's the pink sweater Walt wore when the plane crashed.
I mean, how do you figure that is?
Walter Wanderley?
Again, there's a lot of for motion picture use only money that I'll just count as one. This is a good development, because episode 11 wouldn't hit the same if it were called Closet.
Walt, please. I'm thinking about making the move up to management.
Someone check on Marie, because Vince once said,
if she showed up dressed all in yellow one day, we'd have known
things have gone south.
She had a stroke.
Sounds crazy.
she has paired yellow with purple before, but I don't think that blazer is purple.
Hey, Walt, could you do me a favor? There's this gem and mineral show that's opening at the fairgrounds. I was wondering if you could maybe give me a lift.
Now Hank and Walt get some rare bro
I
time.
had a collection of my own back in high school. I have one piece of morganite that was very special.
Walt is so excited about the mineral show.
Hey, Walt, there's no rock show.
Hank, how could you? But this is a cool way to show that Hank is absolutely done with that hobby.
You hungry?
We're not here for the chicken. You ready for your mind to be blown? Gustavo Fring.
Yeah, the fun run guy. Yeah, that guy. Yeah. What about him?
Methamphetamine. I really believe that this guy is maybe one of the biggest movers in the Southwest. Remember Gail Bedecker? You said that he didn't strike you as being the boss man type. There was a much bigger guy out there, right?
Hank, that was just speculation.
Didn't matter. It made me keep at it.
Uh-huh.
So we bring him in.
You think that Gustavo Fring killed Gail Bedecker?
Probably not. I mean, these guys used to get, like a dunce to pull the trigger.
What did he say?
Walt, will you let me finish my story here?
Sorry, I'm just interested.
Something deep down says he's my guy.
Hank, why are you telling me this?
See that Volvo station wagon over there? I mean, the guy drives a 10-year-old Volvo. It's brilliant. What I need for you to do is stick this on it. 289 Sky Mall.
This was all true.
The tracking key uses 2 AAA batteries and lasts up to 30 days of driving. The tracking key software also provides printable daily reports. Tracking key is the device for you.
It's not live view, so we got to come back later and take it off and stick it in the computer.
Isn't that illegal?
It's easy, okay? Here's what you do. Stick this up into the wheel well.
I don't feel good about this at all.
I mean, this is really important. I mean, Jesus, just you make me beg you? Come on, just stick it in there.
That's what she said.
May I help you?
I didn't do it.
Do it. Do it. May I help you with your order?
What the hell is...
Just made sure it was secure. I swear to God, I thought I was driving the man to a gem and mineral show. If something were to happen to Hank, then that would only draw their attention to you. I will make sure that he discovers nothing. So where do we stand?
Where do we stand on what?
Rage is still paused back there.
You would tell me if you lost it, right?
Oh, Jesus. Asshole.
Our timetable has advanced. You have got to make this meeting happen. Tonight, if possible.
Tonight?
Hank is relentless.
Watch Walt pretend to open the curtains here.
Yeah, well, he's got nothing.
He doesn't actually open them because they're on a soundstage.
They've got to be figuring that we've talked. You need to tell Mike that you are worried. Request a sit down with Gus so you can discuss what you would say in case Hank brings you in for questioning.
He's just gonna tell me to shut my mouth if I get busted. He ain't gonna set up no meeting.
Well, then insist on it, damn it! He will meet with you if he thinks that you're a liability.
No, he will waste me if he thinks I'm a liability. He'll take a piss.
I got a phone call. Anything important?
Neither the DEA nor the APD considers you a person of interest.
Schrader's looking into you totally on his lonesome.
What about Chile?
If I can't find any trace of you before 89, I seriously doubt Schrader can.
Seems to me the bigger problem's the cartel. Dealing with both Schrader and the Mexicans at the same time?
It could be the perfect storm.
And that doesn't even include Walt plotting to kill him.
I'll be in touch.
Well, it's the Grandparents' Polka!
Hector's watching a show from the 70s and 80s called The Big Joe Polka Show.
It's polka time! Is everybody happy?
Is today the day? Yes, another film artifact.
The cartel has given me its ultimatum. DEA agent Schrader, he's a concern. He's looking into my past. Is today the day, Hector?
Do you think he means the day Hector will look at him, or the day Gus decides to kill him? The water just became more yellow as we're now firmly in the Mexico flashback. Or do the colors represent the origin of Gus's revenge?
Gustavo, siéntate, me está poniendo nervioso.
That's something he could squeeze for liquid to come out, but here the pee was digitally added.
Les gusta lo que ven.
At this point, Vince said that Gus and Max were probably lovers, but decided against the show confirming it.
Así que los Pollos Hermanos.
Por fin!
And now it's the reunion of two Scarface actors.
Max es el chef.
Tu socio es el chef. ¿Quién eres tú?
Gustavo es un hombre de negocio brillante.
Ah, es el businessman. ¿Qué tienen en el menú?
A veces preparamos platos de carnitas si es que encontramos carne fresca en el mercado.
This is when I learned that carnitas can be made with beef.
Nada más. Porque cuando yo mando a mis hombres a su restaurante, si no regresan endrogados.
Y las muestras para que se las tiraran a usted, don Eladio.
Metanfetamina. Eso es la cocaína para los pobres.
Este producto es la droga del futuro. Triplicaría sus ganancias, quizás hasta la cuatriplicaría.
Son buenos para hablar pendejadas.
No, continúe.
Le podemos mostrar cómo fabricarla, aquí mismo en México.
Fantástico. Si tú eres el cocinero, ¿para qué lo necesito a él?
Even in Mexico, they have film artifacts.
¿Por qué tengo que hacer negocio con un hombre que me manipula para hacer esta reunión?
Some of the de-aging makeup is obvious, but what might not be obvious is they tried to make Don Eladio look 10 years younger. That way, when they show him in Salud 20 years later, they could try to make him look just 10 years older. Better Call Saul is a different story.
Yo conozco a Gustavo como si fuera un hermano. Él es mi compañero, sí. Yo lo necesito. Él es mi compañero. Por favor, se lo...
This is why Gus is obsessed with having Hector look at him.
La única razón por la cual tú estás vivo y él no es porque yo sé quién eres tú. Pero entiéndeme bien, ya no estás en Chile.
They made Max's pupils larger digitally because they were extra small from the bright sun.
Look at me, Hector. Look at me. Maybe next time.
Did you notice the film artifact counter jumped a lot from the last video? More have been discovered by you detectives out there. Mr. Snortobutt found 5 more in Problem Dog, and in the process of verifying them, I found a 6th. Vimutsi found another one in Problem Dog. User pointed out a new one in the ICU episode that started this whole thing, which led me to finding 4 more, plus this great one from Panathentic that I forgot to count before. Max Kappa is a 6-month member. Congratulations on earning your 6-month badge from YouTube. You were the first cat to join and first appeared on Tweaky Dude's shirt and over. Now you get a prime spot in Don Eladio's pool. Say hi to the new members. Zana Sega, Paul Blanchard, Kai Boozy, Dr. Dirksaft, Sundry, Callum, Yessi, Matuz Orlinsky, Gert, Why Did You Abort Me, Zach S, Bongday, Mace, Kian, North, The Jonathan, Harley, El Guapo Gato, and Simon. And now I'm going to fix my pronunciation of Braden George and Svend. I think it's safe to say I got M and Andrew right. Shout out to Kill a Genius, who is designing a new profile pic. Stay tuned for that. Although having just a letter does stand out. It warms my heart to see these familiar names week after week. Thank you again. Next week, Ted returns and the lab gets a freight elevator.
Is today the day? I guess today's the day. Oh, no, I want to go to the end. Oh, man.